name's Irene Vincent, and this is my painting, Seeking Oneness. I painted it in 1986. A lot of times when people come to my home, they ask me, where do my visions come from? And they come in a number of different ways. But usually the art of contemplation is involved. When I was very young, I would take one word a year and think about that word for the whole year. It would be a type of focus. I think I was in about 12th grade, and I chose the word relationship. And I observed how people related to each other. Later on, I contemplated words such as subtlety, truth, judgment. So it was like suspending the thought, not taking on a certain belief, but holding like that word judgment up there and thinking about, you know, what do we judge, how do I judge, what is discrimination? And it just created a focus, and a lot of times the focus changed my whole life. The contemplations went from words into thoughts. Since I was young, there was, and there still is in many ways, it's the battle of the sexes. There's inequalities between the male and female. I was in a mall one day and women said to me, please sign this petition. We want it to be Ms. that you can put in front of your name instead of Mrs. or Miss. And I go, well, what's the big deal? I don't mind if someone knows if I'm married or not. And they told me, well, men don't have to show whether they're married or not. And they further explained that a lot of times when a woman is a Mrs. and she's married, she doesn't get a job. So of course I signed the petition. So as I became an artist, I thought, I'm going to paint a painting about the inequalities of the male and the female. Somehow show that, and maybe through showing it, people will get an understanding of how to make it work better. But then as time went on, I said, I would rather show the beauty of the male and female energies. And I was also contemplating how women would enter the job market, and instead of bringing their divine feminine qualities and their loving and caring nature and changing the corporate environment into something more human, they were becoming more like the corporate machine, and they would wear men's suits, and I go, well, maybe I should show that. But it never felt right, and the vision didn't come because it didn't feel right. And then as time went on, I did Jungian dream work, and I learned about the inner male and female energies, the anima and the animus, and the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang. And I started contemplating us as just being energies. It didn't matter if we were in a feminine body or in a male body. We were energies, and these energies were within us. And as I studied that, some yogis came into my life, and in the Eastern and the Hindu tradition, we have our inner male and female energies, and when they intertwine, when they become one and there's a union, we get a sense of enlightenment. We become whole within ourselves. One morning, I was having breakfast, and as I was taking a sip of coffee, all of a sudden a voice came in my head and a vision all at the same time. And the vision was create a 12-foot equilateral triangle painting with 7 panels, and have the outer male and female reaching up to the higher energies, to the divine, to heaven. And have them uniting in a more transparent way to show them more as spirit. Have a beautiful bird above them, like a Holy Spirit bird, pouring divine energy and grace upon them. And at the top, have a six-sided star with an upward triangle symbolizing our devotion to the heavens, and a downward pointing triangle symbolizing heaven's grace to us. At the base of the painting, it was to be the snake with the tail in its mouth to symbolize eternity. And in the snake, I gave it 7 diamond shapes. The diamond shape symbolizes ether. And then there's the little dot in the center, which is the bindi, and I have that there. It's the centering point to keep ourselves in a state of calmness. And then this is the golden feet represent our divine path. The other colors of the feet is our journeys that we take outside or in this reality. So that was the vision. With the symbols in my paintings, I often look them up and find out what they mean. And at first I go, a six-sided star, well, that's kind of ethnic, isn't that Jewish? And I don't mind it being of the Jewish culture. However, I want it to be universal. And when I looked up the six-sided star, it was universal. All the cultures embraced it as its true meaning of the marriage of heaven and earth, and which was basically what the painting was about. Our love going to the heavens and becoming one with everything. Where do visions come from? Well, a major place where visions come from is if we contemplate a thought and hold that thought in suspension. Eventually, a meaning, a vision will come through to you. It's a natural way to have visions. And if you're an artist, or you do your dreams, or you look at the signs in life, if you see something and you look up its meaning, I have many books on symbols, and if you look up its meaning, somehow it can resonate within you. When you're paying attention, the divine speaks to you in all different ways. And I really want to share that with you because it's been so true in my life. I painted this painting, and it was a process, but I was so inspired to paint it. It gave me an intellectual concept of that oneness, so I called it Seeking Oneness. As time went on, I would often study it and look at it. And I started studying with different yogis and meditating, and I went on my own personal journey, a type of vision quest, and had an experience of enlightenment. There's many different levels of it. And after that experience, when I came back home and I looked at this painting, I got chills, because it was as if the painting was permeating me and teaching me and making me ready for such a beautiful experience. Really care and love other people so deeply when you realize that everyone is spirit. And this physical form is a piece of clothing, but we're all beautiful lights inside.